Okay, so welcome students. We begin with lecture number 13 from module 2, income from salaries. Okay, under subject direct taxation. So as you'll know, module 2 consists of what is introduction of salaries, meaning of salary, allowances, valuation and taxability of perquisites, death come retirement benefits and deduction against salary, which we have already covered in our previous lectures. So we are pending with only income from house property, which covers only theory part. Okay, it is not that very important because no practical problems, and you need not remember all the provisions also, which will help you to solve the problems because it is only theory and problems on salary income. So today we will be covering in this lecture number 13 problems on salary income, that is full-fledged problems on salary. Till now we have seen individual problems, but today we will be seeing some problems where some of the different provisions will be covered. Next, income from house property theory only will be covering in our today's lecture. So before we start solving the full-fledged problems on income from head salaries, let us understand the format. Okay, I think by now everyone must have already must be well versed with the format. So basic salary, 100% taxable, commission 100% taxable, bonus 100% taxable, allowances you have three types. Depending upon what type is given in the problem, you have to divide it into whether it is fully exempt, fully taxable, or partially exempt. Similarly, perquisites you have to again divided into three types of perquisites, whether it is taxable in case of only specified employee, or in case of all other employees, or if the perquisite is completely exempt. Voluntary retirement compensation, you have to use the provision and get the taxable amount and write it in the outer column. Similarly, retrenchment compensation, leave travel concession, leave encashment, gratuity, uncommuted, commuted pension, and provident fund. When you add all this, you get gross salary, and there is a fixed deduction under gross salary, which is given under section 16. That is standard deduction. 50,000 flat is given to everyone. Entertainment allowance is this deduction is given only and only to government employees. Okay, and professional tax if it is paid by the employer as well as the employee, whatever amount is paid, you will get it as a deduction, but only if the professional tax has been paid. Next, when you deduct all this, you get income from the head salaries. So I hope that you all know the meaning of each of the terms, okay, which we have already covered in our previous lecture. Students, one more thing, each and everything will not be asked in a single problem. A combination of one or two provisions together can be asked in a problem. Everything together will not be asked in the problem. This is a enumerative list of what can be asked in the problem. So if something, suppose about pension, nothing is given in the problem, please don't put it in the format as well. So only what is asked, just put it in the format. Okay, let us solve now some problems on income from head salaries. Okay, so students, please pay attention. So problem number 1, compute the net salary of Shri Hanuman Prasad from the following data. Basic salary is given 8,000 per month. DNS allowance is given 2,000 per month. Taxable perquisite is given 35,000. Entertainment allowance is given 4,000 per month. Assuming he is a government employee, then what will be the net taxable salary? And assuming he is a non-government employee, what will be his net taxable salary? Before we see the solution, I want to ask you all, since we have already covered now, since we have already covered problems on salary, this is just we are clubbing it. Okay, so I want to ask you all, tell me, basic salary, does it form part of your net salary? Students, I want to answer from you all in this session because we have already covered these aspects in our previous lecture. So it's like a revision for you all of the different provisions. Students, so tell me, without seeing the solution, tell me, is basic salary will be a part of your net salary? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if it is 8,000 per month, and usually, as I already told you in my first module, that whatever income you're earning in the entire year, that is entire financial year or entire previous year, which comprises of 12 months beginning from April, okay, April 2019 and ending to March 2020. So, so here, first solution number one, computation of taxable income of Shri Hanuman Prasad for the assessment year 2020-2021. Now, since here no information is given about the year, okay, but the current assessment year which is going on is 2020-2021. That is the reason we'll be taking assessment year 2020-2021. Now, what is the basic salary? It is going to be 96,000. First, we solve in case of government employee, then we see non-government employee. So, basic salary is nothing but 8,000 into 12. Now, dearness allowance. Students, tell me whether dearness allowance is taxable or whether it is exempt.
Ma'am,
Students,
taxable.
I require a quick reply from you all since we have already covered these in our previous lectures. So tell me, is DNS allowance 100% taxable or exempt or partially taxable?
Ma'am, 100%
100.
taxable.
100% taxable, ma'am.
That is why DNS allowance we have taken 2,000 into 12, which is nothing but 24,000. Okay, and it is taxable in both in case of government and non-government. Next is taxable perquisites. Now, you know what is perquisite? It is an extra benefit given to the employee. Now, they have already given what is a taxable portion in the exam. So our in the question, so our solving is being reduced. So taxable perquisite is given as 35,000 in both the cases. Entertainment allowance is 4,000 per month. Now tell me, students, is entertainment allowance 100% taxable? Does it come under 100% taxable or exempt or partially taxable?
100% taxable.
100%.
Ma'am, 100%
So
taxable.
entertainment allowance is, so in both the cases we have written 4,000 into 12. So now why have I written entertainment allowance first and taxable perquisite second? Because allowances has to be written under a single heading. You can write it after basic salary as allowances and then show dearness and entertainment. Okay, because allowances has to be written one below the other. Now, is any other information given? Is he getting anything else? He's getting nothing else. So we derive at the gross taxable salary by adding all this 4 digits. We get 2,03,000. Now we know that we under the head salary there is deductions given under section 16. So there is 3 types of deduction given. Again, I'm going to revise again and again because it's very important. There is a standard deduction of rupees 50,000. There is entertainment allowance given as deduction, which is only given to the government employees. And there is professional tax given as a deduction, which is given only if it is actually being paid either by the employer or employee and mentioned in the problem. So standard deduction is given as 50,000 in both the cases. In both the cases, entertainment allowance is given only in case of government employee. Correct? So in case of non-government employee, he will not get any entertainment allowance. He will not get deduction of any entertainment allowance because it is only given to the government employee. Now, what is the amount of entertainment allowance, deduction of entertainment allowance given? We know that the deduction is the least of the following. So the least of the following is actual entertainment allowance received, or 20% of the basic salary, or the statutory limit, which is fixed 5,000. So I hope you all are able to remember the deduction of entertainment allowance. First thing, it is given only to government employee. Second thing, it has to be the minimum of the 3. So first, actual entertainment allowance received. What is the actual entertainment allowance received? 4,000 per month. So 4,000 into 12, you get 48,000. Next, 20% of basic salary. Now, basic salary is 96,000. 20% of 96,000 is 19,200, and statutory limit is 5,000, which is fixed. Now, among these three, which is the lowest one? The lowest one is 5,000. So, 5,000 is given as a deduction of entertainment allowance in case of only and only government employee. Now, next is professional tax. Now, tell me, students, is any information about how much professional tax is being paid by the employee given?
No, ma'am.
Is any information given? No. So, can we get it as a deduction? No. You will get it as a deduction only when any professional tax is been paid by the employer or employee. Since we don't know what is the professional tax paid by the employer and employee, you can write here professional tax and amount, you can write it as nil in both the cases. So since nothing is given, we have not written. Then you get net taxable salary, which is nothing but 2,03,000 minus 55,000, which is 1,48,000. And similarly for non-government employee, everything remains the same. Only entertainment allowance is not given as a deduction. Therefore, only 50,000 deduction is getting. Here the taxable salary is 1,53,000. So students, have you all understood this problem?
Yes, ma'am.
The small things like entertainment allowance deduction, what is the limit of deduction? Okay, you'll need to remember. So have you all understood the problem number 1? If yes, we'll move ahead to problem number 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now moving ahead to problem number 2. Students, at the end of the class, I'll be asking you all the limits of entertainment allowance. Okay,
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am, please can you explain that entertainment allowance, like why we took nil, ma'am, in non-government employee?
See, in the provisions of entertainment allowance, like in the provisions of deductions under section 16, we have seen that there are 3 deductions given. Okay, standard deduction, entertainment, and professional tax. Now, entertainment allowance, this deduction is given only and only to government employee, correct? So only the first situation, government employee, he only will get the deduction of 5,000. Whereas a non-government employee, is he eligible for deduction of entertainment allowance? No, because he will not get an. So we have written nil. You can write it as 0. No issues. You can
Sure,
put it a dash. No issues. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Next is problem number 2. Mr. Rohit, a non-government employee. See, when you all are reading the problem, you'll have to be very careful in understanding different things, whether it's a government, non-government employee. Okay. So he's a non-government employee, has the following salary details. First is the basic salary of 5,000 per month. There is a DNS allowance of 2,000 per month. Entertainment allowance is of 300 per month. Professional tax paid by employee, means employee himself is paying the professional tax, which is 600. Okay, remember this. LIC premium paid by the employer, 3,600. Now students, tell me this. Actually, LIC is taken on the life of an individual. So Mr. Rohit has to pay his own insurance coverage. Now, insurance premium. Now, it has been paid by his employer. So, under which category of provision does this E point comes? Where will you show this LIC premium paid by the employer?
Perquisite.
It will come under perquisites, right? Yes or no? Students,
Yes,
we have covered perquisites. Under perquisites, tell me where it will come now, since he's no information about specified and non-specified employees given. So is any other employer. Now, why are you saying this as a perquisite? Can you justify? Because it is an obligation.
After
Someone wants to answer?
Yeah. After the reimbursement will happen.
Yeah. So this is a obligation of the employee, that is Mr. Rohit has to actually pay it, but it is paid by the employer. So it is a benefit. So it is a perquisite. That is the reason this has to come under the heading of perquisites, which we have already seen in a previous lecture, students. Any obligation of the employee which is paid by the employer is nothing but perquisite, and which is taxable in case of all employees. Okay, this is 3,600. Now, income tax paid by the employee. So employee himself is paying income tax, your employer is not involved. So this information doesn't keep any importance while we solving the problem on income from head salaries. Next, professional tax paid by the employer on behalf of the employee. So actually, professional tax is to be paid by the employee. Now, who is paying it? Employer. So tell me under which heading are we going to show this professional tax paid by the employer on behalf of employee?
Ma'am, perquisite, ma'am, as an obligation.
Correct. So we are going to show it under perquisites. Okay. Taxable perquisites, we are going to include this. So quickly, we will see how is the solution of this to be done. So computation of taxable salary for Mr. Rohit for the assessment year 2020-2021. Remember that our current assessment year is 2020-2021, and that is the reason we are taking there. Okay, basic salary. Now, basic salary is 100% taxable. That is why 5,000 per month. So 5,000 into 12, we have taken it as 60,000. Next is allowances. Under allowances, you have dearness allowance and entertainment allowance, which is given in the problem. And you know that both dearness and entertainment allowance is 100% taxable. So dearness allowance 2,000 per month it is. So therefore 2,000 into 12, 24,000, and entertainment allowance is 300 per month. Therefore 300 into 12, that is 3,600. So total set of allowances, when you sum it up, it comes to 27,600. Next is taxable perquisites. Now, among all this, we know that perquisite is any benefit given by the employer. It is perquisite doesn't mean that any benefit employee giving to himself is not a perquisite. Employer giving to the employee some benefit is a perquisite. So among all this, is professional tax paid by employee himself is a perquisite for him? No. Here, even the income tax paid by the employee himself, he is paying himself. So is it a perquisite for him? No. So what are the two perquisites in the question? Based on the information in the question is LIC premium paid by the employer because employer is paying it, and professional tax paid by the employer on behalf of the employee. So these both are some benefit that is given. Actually, the employee had to pay, but the employer is paying. So what did we do is we have written it here as it is, and we have taken the figures as it is because it is not given per month. It is given in complete. So we have taken it as it is. Now, once we total this both, we get the taxable perquisite, which is 5,200. Now, after we add any other information is given that we can take under the head before gross salary, before calculating gross salary. No, we have covered everything. So therefore, the gross taxable salary is 92,800. Then we know we have deductions, fixed deductions under section 16. What are the three types of deductions? Standard deduction, 50,000 flat for any sum for any employee. Okay, so we got a standard deduction of 50,000. Entertainment allowance. Now, entertainment allowance here is 0. Why? Because it is given only to a government employee. Now, since the SSC in the problem, Mr. Rohit is a non-government employee, he will not get a deduction of entertainment allowance. Therefore, it is nil. Next, professional tax is given as a deduction only if it is paid by the employee or by the employer. Now, let us see. Professional tax paid by the employee is 600 and professional tax paid by the employer is 1,600. So total, what is the deduction of professional tax that is going to be given? 2,200. That is 1,600 plus 600. Since we know the information is given in the problem, therefore we are taking it as a deduction. So 2,200. So total deduction is 52,200, which we have to deduct from gross taxable salary. Then we get this net taxable salary, which is 40,600. Have you understood the second problem, students? So students, when you solve this
Yes,
problem on
ma'am.
income from head salary, go step by step. Don't get confused seeing the information. Understand each line item and classify it, whether it is an allowance, whether it is a perquisite, whether it is not to be taken in the problem at all. Like income tax paid by the employee himself is paying. So here the question to be taxable under the head salary doesn't come. Salary is something the employer is giving to the employee. Here if the employee himself is paying income tax, so that doesn't come in the income from head salaries. So you have to analyze each and every item and then categorize it and put it in the solution. Okay, has everyone understood problem number 2? Can we move ahead to problem number 3? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, problem number 3. Mr. X is employed in AB Limited on a monthly salary of 25,000 per month. Okay, and an entertainment allowance and commission of 1,000 per month. First of all, before I proceed ahead, just tell me, this monthly salary is nothing but basic salary. Is it 100% taxable or no? Yes or no? Quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, entertainment allowance, is it 100% taxable?
Yes, ma'am.
Why you are not being quick, students? Yes. Commission, is it 100% taxable?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So first, okay, these three are taxable, we know. Next, let us see. The company provides him with the following benefits. If any student has his audio on, I request them to kindly mute your audio. Okay, the company provides him with the following benefits. A company-owned accommodation is provided to him in Delhi. Furniture is costing 2,40,000, which was provided on 1/8/2019. Okay. So tell me, under which heading will it come and under which subheading it has to come? Here,
Ma'am,
are you understanding the meaning of the sentence? Okay, yeah. Tell me, Yashaswini.
Ma'am, rent-free accommodation, ma'am.
Very good. Now, in rent-free accommodation, I hope you all remember the provision. Okay, here the company is owning the accommodation. So if it is owning the accommodation, okay, based on the population of the city, you have to derive at the taxability. Correct? So if the population is more than 25 lakhs, okay, the taxability, what is the taxability limit? 15% of the salary. Correct? Very good. Now, then furniture also is given. Okay. Now, furniture was also provided, and it is not given that furniture is taken on lease. Correct. So it is here the company owned accommodation. So it is assumed that it is owning the furniture also. So when the company is owning the furniture, what is the taxability limit? It is 10% of the cost of furniture. Clear? This we have already done in our perquisites. Next, so we know how to solve the A part. Now let us see the second part. A personal loan of 5 lakh on 1/7/2019, on which it charges interest at the rate of 6.75%. Okay, the entire loan is still outstanding. Assume the SBI rate of interest to be 12.75%. Okay, students, when any loan is given at a concessional rate by the employer to the employee, now it is coming under which category? It is coming under the category of perquisites, first of all, and second of all, what is the taxability limit? I have explained you all that the taxability limit will be the difference between the SBI rate and the rate charged by the employer into the loan amount. So this, are you able to remember the provision that we have done on interest on personal loan? It is going to be the difference between the SBI rate and the rate charged by the employer into the loan amount and for the period up to which the loan is taken. So you cannot take into 12. You cannot take for the full period of 12 months since the loan is given on 1/7/2019. So we have to take only for that number of months for which the loan is being given. Similarly, in case of furniture also, you have to take, even in case of accommodation, you have to take it only for that number of months for which the furniture was used, or for which the furniture was provided, or for which the loan was given. You cannot take it for complete 12 months. Okay. Next is professional tax is paid by Mr. X. Now, who is Mr. X? He is the employee. So he himself is paying the professional tax. So he himself is paying the professional tax. So this professional tax cannot be a perquisite. Suppose this professional tax was paid by AB Limited, then it would be a perquisite and it would come under perquisite. But this professional tax is paid if the employee is giving himself anything or is making payment for himself. Okay, it is not going to come under the head salary, but he will get a deduction under section 16. Okay. Next, what they're telling, compute the income from salary of Mr. X for the assessment year 2020-2021. So have you all understood the question first? Everyone has understood that which point is going to come under which subheading while computing income from the head salaries. I hope you all have understood. Now let us see the computation. First, basic salary, as you have told me that it is 100% taxable. Therefore, I'm going to take 25,000 into 12, which is nothing but 3 lakh. Next, commission. Okay, you all only have told me that it is 100% taxable and 1,000 rupees commission is given per month. Therefore, 1,000 into 12, which is 12,000. Similarly, entertainment allowance, 1,000 into 12, because here they have given entertainment allowance and commission both is 1,000 per month. So which is 1,000 into 12, which is 12,000. Now, let us see this first. As Yashaswini has rightly said, this is rent-free accommodation. Rent-free accommodation forms part of your perquisites. So in your presentation, students, here you all can write the heading as taxable perquisites. Below that, you all can show rent-free accommodation. Okay. Now, tell me what is going to be the taxable amount. For that, we require a working note because we have to apply the provision. Wherever we have to apply the provision, working note is required. Or if you all have space, you all can show there itself. So note number 1, let us go to note number 1, everyone. So value of rent-free unfurnished accommodation. Later we will add the value of furniture. So what it is? 15% of salary. Why 15% of salary? Because in a city like Delhi, we know that the population is going to be more than 25 lakhs. And the company is owning the accommodation, is not taking on lease. Because if it is taking on lease, the provision to be applied is a little different. So 15% salary of the relevant period. Now, can anyone tell me what is the salary for the purpose of calculating rent-free accommodation? What is the salary we are supposed to take for the purpose of calculating rent-free accommodation? Can anyone answer?
Basic salary, DA commission. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Basic salary, DA
Yes,
commission.
tell me. No. For rent-free accommodation, what is the salary we are supposed to take? We are supposed to take everything exception for that is we are supposed to take, not, I'm not asking in relation to this sum, but I'm asking in relation to general what we are supposed to take. We're supposed to take basic salary, commission, fees, bonus, all the allowances, taxable allowances, all the monetary benefits, exception perquisites. So here we know that rent-free accommodation is a perquisite. We know that interest on personal loan is a perquisite. So what is not a perquisite? Basic salary is not a perquisite. So we need to take commission is not a perquisite. So we need to take entertainment allowance is not a perquisite. So we need to take. So salary for the purpose of rent-free accommodation will be 3 lakh plus 12 lakh plus 12 lakhs. Okay. Into 15%, we get 48,600. So this is the value of unfurnished accommodation, correct? So which we have taken here it as 48,600. To that, we need to add the value of furniture. Assuming that furniture, since it is not specified that furniture is taken on lease, we assume it is taken on because it is written here, a company owned. So it is been owned by the company. So what is the taxability in case of furniture if it is owned by the employer? It is 10% of cost of furniture for the months it is being used. So furniture was provided on 1/8/2019. So tell me, for a particular financial year, which starts in 1/4/2019 and ends on 31/3/2020, if furniture is provided on 1/8/2019, for how many months is using the furniture? For the complete month of August. 8th is August, 9th September, 10 October, 11 November, 12 December, January, Feb, and March. So total 8 months is using the furniture. So 2,40,000 into 10% for 8 months, you get 16,000. So what is the total taxable rent-free accommodation? When we add value of unfurnished house plus the value of furniture, you get the taxability in case of rent-free accommodation, which is 64,600. Now, students, tell me whether you have understood the explanation of rent-free accommodation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, interest on personal loan. Now, this also you'll know that loan is given at a concessional rate. When I say concessional rate, is whatever rate is there, actually, it is 12.75 as per the RBI, SBI rate, and the employer is charging 6.75. So what is going to be the taxability difference of these two rates, okay, into the loan amount given and for the number of months the loan is being given. Now the loan is given on 1/7/2019. So from 1/7/2019 to 31/3/2020, how many number of months it is? So let us see
Ma'am,
note
9
number
months.
2. So let us see note number 2. Value of perquisite for interest on personal loans. 5 lakh is the amount of the loan. Difference between the SBI rate and the rate fixed by the employer into the number of months the loan is being given. So 9 months. So when you just calculate this, you get 22,500. So 22,500 we have taken as the value of interest on personal loan, which falls under which heading? Perquisites. Why I'm asking all under which heading it falls? Because to calculate salary for the purpose of different provisions, you need to know under which specific heading it is going to fall. Now, is any other in professional tax? Are you going to take it while calculating gross salary? No, because employee himself is paying his expenses. It doesn't form part of salary, gross salary. So therefore, when you add all this up, you get 4,11,100. Then you know there is deductions. There is standard deduction, entertainment allowance, and professional tax. Standard, all the deductions are given under section 16. Remember that. Standard deduction is given up to 50,000. So 50,000. Now, professional entertainment allowance, we are not giving him. You can show your entertainment allowance and show it as nil because it is not a government employee. It is AB Limited. It is not specified. It is a government organization. So nil. And professional tax paid. Now, what is the total professional tax paid by the employee plus by the employer? Employer, no information is given, take it as 0. Employee is paying 2,000. So 2,000 you have to write here. So what is the total deduction? 52,000. So income from salary is nothing but 4,11,100 minus 52,000, which is 3,59,100. By this, we have completed problem number 3. So students, have you all understood this problem?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you all are telling yes, please be careful because at the end, I'll be asking you all the provisions. Okay. Now let us go to problem number 4. Mr. Balaji, employed as production manager in Beta Limited, furnishes you the following information for the year ended 31/3/2020. Basic salary up to 31/10/2018 was 50,000 per month, and basic salary from 1/11/2018 is 60,000 per month. So here his basic salary in the entire year is changing. For the certain number of months it is 50,000, and for certain number of months it is 60,000. Calculation of months we will do when we solve the problem. Now tell me, is this basic salary 100% taxable? Quick.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. DNS allowance at the rate of 40% of basic salary. So whatever basic salary we are going to get, okay, since we have to multiply with the number of months, so whatever basic salary we are going to get, 40% of that you're going to take it as DNS allowance. Now next, bonus equal to 1 month salary. So 1 month salary you have to take as bonus, which is paid in October 2019 on basic salary plus DNS allowance applicable for that month. So have you understood this sentence? What this sentence is saying is, you have to take bonus which is equal to 1 month salary, and that 1 month salary should include your basic salary and DNS allowance which you paid in the month of October. Now students, up to 31/10/2018, that is October month's end, right? So October month, what salary was paid? 50,000. Okay. And DNS allowance was paid how much? 40% of 50,000. So total how much? 70,000 you have to take as bonus. Have you all understood this calculation, students, of bonus? Bonus they're telling only take for 1 month as equal to 1 month salary, but that salary should be based on the month of October, whatever salary was given in the month of October. So in the month of October, 50,000 was given as basic salary, and they have given that DNS allowance is 40% of basic salary. So 40% of 50,000 is 20,000. So 50,000 plus 20,000, total 70,000 is the bonus that he is receiving. Have you all understood the third point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, contribution of employer to recognized provident fund of the employee at the rate of 16% of basic salary. Now, can you all tell me, in case of recognized provident fund, if the employer is making a contribution, how much is exempt, how much is taxable, or 100% exempt or 100% taxable? Can you all tell me? If you all remember the provision says that up to 12% of contribution of the employer is exempt. If he is contributing more than 12%, it is going to be taxable. Now, is it more than 12% he is contributing?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes. So he is contributing 4% extra of basic salary. Correct. Basic salary will calculate later, and 4% of basic salary we will do, and that is going to be the taxability. Because in case of recognized provident fund, we have seen that employer's contribution only up to 12% is exempt. If he is contributing over and above, it has to be taxable. Okay. Next, professional tax paid 2,500, of which 2,000 was paid by the employer. Now, who's going to answer this? Where all you're going to give effect of this professional tax? What are they telling? 2,500 is paid, out of which 2,000 was paid by the employer.
2,000 was perquisites, comes under perquisites.
Very
And
good.
500 will deduct in deduction, ma'am. 2,000 for total 2,500.
Okay. In deductions, whatever employer, employee both have paid, you are going to add it and given in the deduction. But very good that you said 2,000 is a perquisite. So I hope you are understanding. Very good. Next, sixth point. Let me see who answers this. Facility of laptop and computer was provided to Balaji for both office and personal use. Cost of laptop 45,000 and computer 35,000, which was acquired by the company on 1/12/2019. First, tell me under which it is going to come. And second, you'll tell me whether it is 100% exempt, 100% taxable, or completely exempt, or partially exempt. See, in case of laptops and computers, we have seen that it is a use of movable asset, correct? Now, in this case,
So,
laptop
ma'am?
and computers, what is the taxable? Yes?
Ma'am, it comes in the rent-free accommodation and 100% exempt, ma'am.
Very good. Laptop and computer rent, it doesn't come under rent-free accommodation. Laptop and rent-free accommodation means what? A place to stay along with the furniture.
Yes.
Okay, so they're not giving any place to stay. So you are correct. It is 100% exempt because laptops and computers, if they're used for office use, okay, and later after office, if taking the laptop home and use, many companies give the laptops, okay, like you'll get it and then take it back to home. And if you're using at home also, so there is no taxability. It is nil. No taxability in case of laptops and computers. Okay, next is motor car owned by the employer. Now this I want you all to tell me, okay, because we have recently done this in the previous lecture. Motor car owned by the employer where the cubic capacity of the engine exceeds 1.6 liters. Okay, it is exceeding 1.6 liters, provided to the employee from 1/11/2019, meant for both office and personal use. Repair and running expenses are 45,000 from 1/11/2019 to 31/3/2020, which were met by the employer. The motor car was self-driven, means chauffeur was not provided, driver was not provided. Let me explain the meaning of this. What it means that motor car is provided where the CC engine is more than 1.6 liters. Employer is owning the motor car, employer is bearing the running and maintenance charges. Now, this motor car is used for both office and personal use. So what is going to be the taxability? Is it going to be the statutory limit? Yeah, tell me.
2,400 per month, ma'am. If employer is provided.
Very good. Per month up to
Yes.
up to when up to the number of months he's using the car, not for the whole year. So he's using the car from 1/11/2019 to 31/3/2020. So students, we have seen three things. Wholly used for office purpose. Now tell me, if it was wholly used for office purpose, what would be the taxability?
Ma'am, nil. It's fully exempt.
Very good. Now, if it is used only for personal purpose, wholly for personal purpose, what would be the taxability?
Total
The actual expenditure borne by the employer. And now it is used partly for personal and partly for office use. That is why we are taking the statutory limit. If the CC was less than 1.6 liters, it would be 1,800 per month. Now, since it is more than 1.6 liters, it is going to be 2,400 per month. Per month means the number of months he's using the motor car. Okay, so everyone has understood this point. The seventh point, is it understood by everyone how to apply it in the provision? How to apply it in the main answer? Yes, no? Okay, next. Leave travel concession given to the employee, his wife and 3 children. One daughter aged 7, twin son aged 3. Cost of air ticket is the economic class. It is economic class, which is reimbursed by the employer, 30,000 for adults and 45,000 for 3 children. Now tell me students, leave travel concession, if the employee is taking an economic class, is it going to be exempt, 100% taxable? Tell me what it is. Economic class is the basic class he is taking. So tell me whether it is going to be 100% exempt. So we have already seen in leave travel concession, students, that if it is an economic class, okay, which is being taken by the employee, then it is exempt and it is not taxable, since it is not taken. It is the basic fare that is in relation to the cost of air tickets. Okay, he is not taking a business class or luxury class. If he was taking that, it would be taxable. Since it is an economic class, it's going to be exempt. Okay. Now, Balaji is eligible for availing exemption this year to the extent it is permissible in law. Compute the salary income chargeable to tax in the hands of Mr. Balaji for the assessment year 2020-2021. Now, we have seen every everything, each and every point. Now we are just going to quickly put it in the format. So answer: computation of taxable salary of Mr. Balaji for the assessment year 2020-2021. Now basic salary up to 31/10/2018 he was getting 50,000. Our financial year or our previous year starts from 1/4. So students, from April to October, what is the number of months from April to October?
7 months, ma'am.
So 50,000 into 7 plus from November to March, it is 60,000 per month. So from November to March, how many number of months are there?
5 months.
So 60 into 60,000 into 60,000 plus 5, we get 6,50,000. I hope you all have understood this. Don't directly take 50,000 into 12. See, read the question properly and then take it. Okay. So 6,50,000. Dearness allowance, they are clearly given 40% of basic salary. So 40% of 6,50,000 is how much? 2,60,000. So dearness allowance is 2,60,000. Bonus. Bonus, I have already explained bonus. They're telling only 1 month salary of the month of October, and that salary should include basic and dearness. So we know that October month salary is 50,000 and 40% of 50,000 is 20,000, and therefore 70,000 is the bonus. Why I'm going quickly towards this? Because we have already in detail seen while reading the problem. Employer's contribution to, next is employer's contribution to recognized provident fund up to 12% exempt. Now 16% and 12%, what is the excess? Up to 12% exempt, what is the excess? Excess is 4%. So 4% of basic salary, 4% of basic salary. So 4%, where is the basic salary? 6,50,000. So 4% of 6,50,000 is 26,000. All these notes I will see because I've already explained you all. We will see later. Then taxable perquisites. Taxable perquisites, as a student has rightly said, that it is 2,000 was paid by the employer. So professional tax paid by the employer, 2,000 we have taken as taxable perquisites. And perquisites of motor car, okay, as a student has again rightly said, that it is going to be 2,500 for the number of months the car was used. Now from November to March, what is the number of months? It is going to be 5 months. So 2,400 for 5 months, it is going to be 12,000. Next, leave travel concession is not going to come into picture because it is an economic class which is exempt. Okay, so when you add all this, you are going to get the gross salary, which is 10,20,000. Next, you're going to get deduction. Deduction is fixed irrespective it is any sum. Yeah, just give me 2 minutes. I'll finish this sum, then I'll address it out. So deduction is, 3 deductions are given. Standard deduction of 50,000. Sorry, students, it is standard deduction of 50,000. Then you're going to have is professional tax that is paid. You have standard deduction of 50,000. Then professional tax you're going to pay is why you're writing 2,500? Because professional tax will get as a deduction both if the employer as well as the employee is paying. So total professional tax was paid is 2,500. Okay, so you're writing here 2,500. So total deduction you're going to get is 52,500. When you deduct 10,20,000 from 52,500, you will get 9,67,500, and that is going to be the taxable salary. Okay. Now, whatever doubts are there, you can tell me. Any student had some doubt? The student had a doubt, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am, perquisites of motor car. Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, ma'am. Perquisites of. Yeah, ma'am. Telling. The perquisites of motor car 2,400, ma'am. How did that 2,400 came?
Okay. Who's this? What is the name of this student? Actually, I can't see. Stephen. Okay. Stephen, when we did the provisions of motor car, correct? Motor car was a perquisite that employer gives the employee, correct? We had seen three things. that where the employer is where the employee is using the motor car wholly for office purpose, wholly for private purpose, and partly for office and partly for private. Now, when he is using partly for private and partly for office use, we had seen that under the provisions there are fixed statutory limit depending upon the CC engine capacity. So when we go back to the provision where we seen that the cubic capacity of the engine is less than 1.6, the fixed limit is 1800. Now here the cubic capacity engine is more than 1.6. Under the provision it is fixed that it is going to be 2400 that you have to take as the taxability per month. Per month is 2400. Therefore is using only for 5 months. So we have multiplied by 5. Is this clear, Stephen? This 2400 is fixed in the provision. It is not that we have written the amount by ourselves. It is under the provisions of the Act. Okay, 2400. Is this clear?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
In my
Hello,
lecture
ma'am.
number 11 and 12, you can go through the lecture where you can see that I've explained this 2000, the provision, the statutory limit. Yes. Yes, quick.
Ma'am, can you explain once
Any other
again
doubt?
this leave travel concession provision? I did not understand actually.
Okay, again in my lecture number 11, I've seen what is leave travel concession is when any employee is going for leave, okay, where he's traveling to within India or any other city. So what happens is if he's taking the fare charges, obviously to travel from one place to another, you require tickets, right? Okay, either it can be air ticket or you can go by railways or you can go by bus. So any ticket which is taking, and suppose if it's taking an economic class. Now, what do you mean by economic class? Is it a luxury class? Is it like a business class? No, economic class is a basic fare. Okay, in case of air tickets, correct? Now, in case of air tickets, if it's traveling by economic class and that is reimbursed by the employer, then it is exempt as per the provisions. So that is the reason we have not taken it here. Is it clear?
If it's business class, then or how much we have to take?
Then business class, then 30 plus 45 will be taxable. Because he's opting for the luxury route, right? Now, if anything luxury type is given, it is again benefit to the employee, right? So you have to take it as completely taxable. Is it clear?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Only if it is a basic class, only if it is an economic class, which with the shortest distance, then you have to take it as an exemption, which we have already covered in the provisions under lecture number maybe 10 or 11. I'll quickly read out the notes. Since bonus was paid in the month of October, the basic salary of 50,000 for the month of October is considered for its calculation, which I've already explained. Second, facility of use of laptop and computer is an exempt perquisite, whether used for office purpose or personal purpose or both. Next, the entire amount of leave travel concession of 75,000 reimbursed by the employer towards leave travel concession is exempt since the same is availed for himself, his wife, and his 3 children. Okay, and the journey is undertaken in an economic class airfare. The restriction imposed for 2 children is not applicable in this case of multiple births which take place after the first child. So here you need not see how many number of children are there. Next, it is assumed that DNS allowance does not form part of salary for computing retirement benefits. Next, motor engine, this entire provision is explained here. Whatever I've explained, I've just put it down in the form of notes. So even you all can put it in the form of notes. And similarly, professional tax, okay, whatever explanation I've given you all regarding professional tax, the same thing I've written it in the form of notes so that you'll understand when I give you all these notes, you'll understand that why I have taken a particular thing So I've given it in the form of notes, and in exam also you all can write it in the form of notes. So have you all understood this problem? Problem number 4. Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now problem number 5. Okay. Now this also is going to be answered by all. Okay.
Yes,
Now this is
ma'am.
the last problem we are doing. It's going to be answered by all. From the following details, find out the salary chargeable to tax for the assessment year 2021. Mr. X is a regular employee of Rama and Company in Gurugram. He was appointed on 1/1/2019 in a scale of 20,250 per month. So 20,250 per month is nothing but his basic salary. Scale is nothing but the range on which he has been appointed. Next, he paid 10% he's paid 10% DA, okay, of the basic pay, and bonus of rupees 21,000 per annum. He contributes 15% of his pay and DA towards his recognized provident fund, and the company contributes the same amount. So his contribution towards recognized provident fund is not to be taken, because I told you all, employees paying anything for himself, why it will form part of salary. But if the employer is paying more than how much percent, students? What is the
12%.
taxability in case? Very good. Okay. Next,
12%.
he's provided
12%,
okay,
ma'am.
good. He's provided free housing facility which has been taken on rent by the company, 10,000 per month. Now, where it is going to be forming part of this? What is this? He's been provided a free housing facility to stay, but that house has been taken on rent by the company. So tell me, what is this? Under which heading it is going to come, and under which subheading it is going to come? Students, the employer is providing employee a house to stay, which is rent free. Okay. And that house is taken by the company on rent, like on lease. Company is not owning that house. So tell me, what is this?
Rent-free accommodation.
Ma'am, rent-free accommodation.
Very good. Then why are replying so late? Okay, it is a rent-free accommodation. Okay. He is also provided with the following facility. Facility of a laptop costing 50,000. Laptop, if it is given to the employee, is it taxable? Yes, no. Quick.
No, ma'am.
Students,
No, ma'am.
why
Not
are you being so slow in answering?
If it's a office purpose,
Okay, wait. Office, business, office, office, personal, or both the use, it is not taxable. Next, a monthly salary of 1,000, okay, of a housekeeper is reimbursed by the company. Actually, the housekeeper salary has to be paid by whom? It has to be paid by the employee, but it is paid by the reimbursed by the company. Is it taxable? He is not a specified employee. So 100% taxable. A voucher of 50,000 on the occasion of his marriage is given. I told you, any gift voucher, like we had seen the provisions earlier, any gift voucher in excess of 5,000 is going to be taxable. So here only 5,000 is going to be taxable. He's getting an allowance. Allowance is there, students. Telephone allowance at the rate of 500 per month. Is it going to be taxable? Yes, because allowance is taxable. Telephone allowance. So is this clear? Is this sum clear to everyone? Now quickly tell me. Now we'll solve the problem. Okay, basic pay. What is going to be his basic pay, students? Quick. You'll have to be very quick in answering. Students, what is going to be his basic pay? 20,250 into 12, right? Here he's getting a pay of 20,250. When it is PM per month, so you have to multiply by 12. When you multiply by 12, you get 2,43,000.
Yes.
Next, DNS allowance is 10%. So 10% of basic pay. So 10% of basic pay is how much? 24,300. Next, bonus is how much? 21,000 per annum. So bonus you're going to take per annum 21,000. Next, employer's contribution to recognized provident fund in excess of 12%. Now 15% and 12%. How much is the excess?
3%.
3%. But what is telling, he contributes 15% of his pay and DA, means pay, basic pay plus DA he is contributing. So here you have to add basic pay plus DA, and that you have to take 3% of that. So you get 8,019 rupees. Correct. Now taxable allowances mean you have telephone allowances 6,000 directly, 500 per month, so into 12. Now taxable perquisites. Now you all have to quickly tell me the provision, students. What is going to be the limit, taxable limit, in case the house is taken on rent by the employer? What is going to be the taxable limit? It's going to be 15% of salary or actual rent payable by the company, whichever is lower. So let us see here the calculation where the accommodation is taken on lease or rent by the employer. The value of rent-free accommodation will be the actual amount of lease rent payable or 15% of salary, whichever is lower. Now, what is the salary for the purpose of rent-free accommodation? So what is the meaning of salary for the purpose of rent-free accommodation? Who's going to tell me this?
Except perquisite, ma'am. All the
Excluding perquisites.
Very good. So we're going to have the basic salary, we're going to have the DNS allowance, we're going to have bonus, we're going to have the telephone allowance. So when we add all this, we get 2,94,300. 15% of salary. So 15% of 2,94,300 is nothing but 44,145. Okay. And actual lease rent payable. What is the actual lease rent payable? How much is paying as rent? 10,000 per month. So when it is 10,000 per month means it will be how much? 1,20,000. So which is lower? So it's going to be whether 44,145 is lower. Therefore, we have taken here as rent-free accommodation taxable perquisites at 44,145. Next, monthly salary 1,000 is paid, which is reimbursed by the company, and he's not a specified employee. Therefore, we have taken it as 12,000 because actually the employee is supposed to pay, but the employer is paying it. Now, next, gift voucher. Again, I told you all anything up to 5,000 gift voucher is exempt. Over and above 5,000, it is taxable. So, 10,000 minus 5,000 is taxable. Next, when you add all this, you get the gross salary. Now, we get deductions under section 16, which is a standard deduction of 50,000. Second, entertainment allowance he will not get because he is not a government employee. Third, professional tax. No information about professional tax is given, so he's not going to get that deduction. So he's just going to get 50,000 deductions. When you minus this, you get salary, income chargeable to tax, or you can write net salary, or you can write income from the head salary. So you get 3,13,464. Notes I have given for each of the points for you all to understand, as well as you all have to give the notes in the exam also, so that you all have a proof as to how you all have derived at a particular figure. So is this clear, students? Is problem number 5 clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have completed problems on income from head salaries. So you can solve the problems only and only if you know the provisions thoroughly. Then you will be able to solve